Which
the
actually
city.
crazy is while we were talking here, so none of this is like it's all happening literally right now because we're talking about Israel apparently went and bombed 3 places in Iran, which are like the locations of their top nuclear research facilities.
Oh,
yeah,
That's a risky place to bomb, right?
World War III is like that's like if World War III is back on the menu, boys.
so I keep seeing
Should have a
children on
draft.
Reddit. I keep seeing children on Reddit like joke about how like, yeah, it's World War III this time, right? Dude, it has never been like this before in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Same. This is the most World War III shit going on
This
right now.
is ridiculously close. Like if you look at, there's like
Fingers crossed nothing happens.
there's a clear group of Axis powers and a not so cohesive and motivated group of allied powers, and they're all sort of tightening up and ratcheting things up all around the world, whether it's China, Russia, or Iran. And North Korea is always a problem for some reason.
I feel like there's a lot of weight carried. A
'Cause-
lot of weight being carried in my mind. A lot of weight carried on U.S. boats. I'm like, those boats are really crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like one of those ships can destroy a whole country, right? That's what these things are. The super destroyers or
Pretty
whatever.
much.
They're basically like,
Are those nuclear submarines?
yeah, because they go and they like park one in like the Mediterranean, and they're like, no one, not anyone. And then, like, I assume.
I don't want a war, though. I don't want a real war.
No, of course. Every country postures so that there isn't a war, and Israel's so the type of country to be like, yeah, but we're going to go bomb that because that's crazy.
As
We're
they,
gonna do it
they
anyway.
did that. They did that with Saddam Hussein.
they didn't
like
have
the
to
80s.
strike back. They didn't have to strike back like that thing.
No, because they defended it so well that it sent the message. It didn't have to have a response.
I don't know when Israel found out that Iran was going to send those drones and missiles, but I found out 2 days before it happened from Reddit.
It's so crazy.
From Reddit. And they didn't say one of those like murky things like there's the potential for an Iranian strike. And 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, who knows? They were like, this week the Iranians are striking. And they waited to the
On
end
Twitter,
of the
they're like,
holiday.
there's clips of the drones leaving.
Here's how measured look, I'm not defending Iran, but here's how measured their strike was. It was just to save face with their own people. Clearly, they waited till the moment that the Jewish holidays ended at midnight. And then it was midnight their time. And then they launched nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
99% of it was stopped. Like they said a
Iran knew
7-year-old
this was
girl was
coming.
injured. She's fine. I promise.
I think Iran has like the capability to defend itself from like a on the ground invasion very, very effectively, but I don't think they have the ability to project power across the region.
No,
Like,
they knew about that this was coming. They knew that Israel was contemplating targeting their nuclear facilities. But you, Taylor,
Now
you bought them
hit
stealth
back.
bombers.
I bought them stealth bombers. I
did.
just sent out a check earlier this week.
All
to
the
buy
tax
more
money that
stuff.
you ever spent in your entire life flew one
paint
stealth
job.
bomber approximately
didn't.
4 seconds. Yeah, not
Yeah,
even.
It was the paint
Threw
job.
it for an eighth of
Paint
a
job.
second.
Not even the paint job. No way the
Yeah.
paint job. No.
You paid
Yeah,
for
no,
like
no,
that guy's.
Some senator's uncle, his firm got the paint job for $1 million per wing.
Like one Iron Dome rocket is basically all the tax money that you like.
Yeah, if not
It's
way
fucked up.
more. Like it's hopefully this does not actually pop off because a world war would be horrific.
So Iran's going to
Yes.
hit back now, and they promised earlier this week that their next attack would be 100 times more powerful than their first attack, and so now they're going to attack again. Israel just struck Iran and hit 3 nuclear facilities.
Unfolding. So that's what it said. The 3 places in Iran. So everyone's like, oh, those are the nuclear facilities there.
I hope
That's
Biden pulls some support, right? Because the way my understanding,
Genocide Joe.
yeah. So
Syria and Iran.
what happened is Iran wanted everyone to say let me start over. Iran seemingly wanted everyone to think they attacked Israel. We all knew Iran was attacking. We knew it. The 4 of us all knew that attack was coming. So they launched some bullshit attack full of drones that are easily shot down. US shoots them down. Saudi Arabia shoots them down. United Arab Emirates shoots them down. Then obviously Israel shoots them down with the stuff we give them. and nobody's hurt. A couple missiles fall harmlessly in the sand. Biden tells Israel, hey, take the win. Just like fucking let this settle. You don't have to kick back at Iran. Let this relax. They didn't really attack you. They pretended to attack you. And if it had died there, Iran could have taken the win, said, look at these fucking flaccid bullshit, try and deal with us. They're not on my level. But no, now they have to attack Iran's nuclear facilities. Who knows where this escalates to? So how is, I know Biden's not running this war, but like he has an influence on it. I want Biden to somehow settle this shit down. And I feel like Israel just gave us the middle finger and said, oh, did you, because Biden told him, take the win. Look, you won, take the win. And they're like, I have another idea. You suck a dick and I'll kick Iran's ass. And that's where we are.
Yeah, and you'll keep giving us money. And
I don't believe that though.
I'm listening.
I think all these decisions, I think those two countries make decisions together. As much as it looks one way or it's handled one way on the outside, like Israel is America's little like pet attack dog in that area.
I'm listening.
And it's just it's.
So you don't think Israel?
I don't think America wants Iran
like
to
more
have
of the bitch in the relationship based on the history. Like they do whatever they want and then we cover it.
But there's an element of looking like a bitch that is not really concerning to higher ups these days. That's not like a big deal in that sense. It is what it is. I think I don't think the US wants Iran to have nuclear capabilities. I don't think anyone in office in the U.S. wants Iran to have nukes.
All right, so you've opened my mind. I do see it as feasible that America wants the world to think we didn't want this really.
Of course not, and it's people. But you don't remember? There's this thing, Operation
Genocide
Opera.
Joe playing 3D chess. You heard it here first, folks.
They way back in early 80s, late 70s, they were shopping around the F-16 fighter jets, and they were bringing around. The U.S. was like, it was like $25 million, 1979 money. We don't want this. We're not at war. Why would we want $25 million fighter jets? And like Israel came in and they're like, yo, we'll take 4 of those. Took them, like figured them out, learned them, whatever. They'd exercise it, and like within a couple years of getting them, flew them to Iraq and bombed a nuclear facility that was in the midst of being built. And the idea was that like this nuclear energy would be able to take that country and elevate it to such a level. And they were just like, nah, we don't trust them. And they bombed it. And the entire world was like, dude, you're literally trying to start World War III. You can't, like, once again, it's like, you can't, it's like me defending myself or just beating someone up in a fight, or like some kid, and my dad grabbing me and be like, what are you doing? We raised you better than that. Give me some skin, brother. Like, down low. And don't you ever do that again. Grounded. And then getting in the car, closing the door, like, so you want ice cream? I feel like that's the vibe, because that happened. Everyone shit on it. But then it's like the whole like Iraq was all about weapons of mass destruction. We're looking for weapons of mass destruction. The whole thing was like looking for weapons of mass destruction. But imagine they had a nuclear reactor from 20 years ago built. Well, then the whole, I mean, well, you wouldn't be able to, I'm just saying like that whole nuclear, like you never wanted them to have nukes. And anyone building a nuclear reactor, we all know it's for nukes. And Israel's got secret nukes. They are that type of country.
I don't think Israel had to enrich uranium to get their nukes. I think we fucking mailed them some nuclear weapons that say Acme atomic weapon number 3 made in the USA, and we had. I think they didn't make their own.
There were some things, some reports, even like the U.S. went to go inspect. They went to go inspect if there was nukes being made or whatever. They got in the building and there was like whole ass walls built or like that were there. And the guys are like, oh, on the blueprints, there's supposed to be more room here. And they're like, no, that's a wall, dude. You're tripping. But it's like they're hiding nukes for sure.
If Israel was like behaving at all at our behest at this point, or the Biden administration, however you want to put it, like, and it was them doing it in that circuitous way, like the Biden administration would have been like, hey, nothing at all until after November. None of this. None of it at all. We're not going to jeopardize, because a big giant world war is not popular with the voting public. People don't want that. And so we're doing none of this. So to me, it seems like Israel does.
Kamala loses World War III.
It seems like Israel often does whatever they want.
Taylor, what if I said big wars always skyrocket a president's popularity?
I think it depends on the war. Like,
at first
I don't
it does.
Know. Yeah.
I don't think now we're like at the information time where even like the last war or invasion that U.S. was part of, we look back at like, oh, that was weird.
I feel like America has war fatigue, and there isn't a big appetite for it right now. But when I think of all the wars, Iraq 1, Iraq 2, Afghanistan, I'm too young for Vietnam. That's weird. But all the wars that I've lived through, God, people fucking rally around the flag. They love it. Will it happen
Rock,
this time?
flag, eagle.
It feels like they won't, but they always do.
I don't think people want it. And so it would reflect badly on Biden and his guys if he was telling Israel to do this, which is why I don't think that.
Well, you have two choices. Your government either you believe in your head that they don't want war, or they think it's necessary to take other countries' power away. Like, those could lead to the same thing. Like, essentially, I don't imagine that a country like Iran, which is like a proxy to enemies of the USA, that they would want them to have and harness the ultimate power on the planet. Like, that's the top power.
They don't want them
and that country fucking sucks. That's a shit. Iranian people are no. The country, fuck that country. The people are fine. The people are different from the government, and that we have to say that all the time. But the current government in Iran, this is the regime that, if you remembered months ago, the young girls out in public not wearing a hijab, so they beat her up, put her in a coma, and she dies in the hospital. This is a regime that routinely kills their youth for revolting or wanting freedom in any shape or form. This is the regime with the morale police that go around and actively, intimidate and scare and beat up and kill women and children for not doing what they're supposed to do as per, the religious doctrine.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are Iran backwards.
Yeah, I love Iran. But the thing is, it's not the people that are running it.
I'll take that side with you. Let's do it. Let's all right, first we need to figure out what are they all about? What kind of
well, first of all, you should get the name right. It's the Islamic Republic of Iran.
That's true. No, it is. Yeah, that is. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but Islamic Republic as like a prefix over there. That's like the way they put like football club, like in Europe on all their teams. Something FC. It's just
I hope that Harley is right, but I think that everybody's been flying by the seat of their pants since October 7th, and it's this is just all reactionary. And BB is in election year, I think maybe, and he's just going to let heads roll. He doesn't care.
I feel like he's going to do some Trump shit. He's going to do some Trump shit and be like, I'm not leaving office until this war's over.
Do you remember this? It might have been the night of the State of the Union afterwards, where he was like, Netanyahu's going to have a come to Jesus meeting. Like, do you remember that? It was like a hot mic secret catch. Mm-hmm. Now, either Harley's off target with this, or the hot mic secret catch is all part of the ruse.
I don't think he'd be part of the ruse. I would think
he killed him the first time.
He's like, I feel like this is like, I don't believe anyone that works in politics. I don't believe anyone. And I don't believe we get enough of a picture to make an accurate aspect. So I try and break it down to the most basic thing possible. And I'm like, ultimately, what would be more important to the US than Iran not having nukes? I can't think of anything else that would be more important right now on the brink of World War III that another enemy of the country doesn't harness that power. So I'm just assuming then that's how it is. And I do think Israel for sure has to act out of line. Because if you are the one outpost in the middle of the Middle East that is an ally to the U.S., you kind of understand your leverage. Let's be honest, they're Jews. You understand Yeah, but it's not quite like Israel. Israel's literally like
Egypt.
Yeah. We give
like
them
Israel's
our money.
on the US's lap. Like they're sitting on their lap.
Chad.
Chad's in Africa.
But like these are
Close
like
enough,
like think about
Nobody knows for
Jordan.
sure, Taylor.
I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy when Egypt
How dare
and
you.
Jordan, countries like Egypt and Jordan are like, yeah,
Geo-Nazi.
Israel over Iran. That's bizarre to me.
Yeah, I don't see the value a lot of people in politics seem to with our like undying money giving allegiance to Israel. It's like I don't see what we get out of it as American
I don't
people.
understand why it's so much money. I
Yeah.
don't understand why the U.S. has to spend so much money. But then again, I'm sure if I broke down every aspect of the government, I'd be like, that's a lot of money spent on
And look at
this
how
and that, and
particularly Republicans respond to Israel issues in America. Like they'll be like, "Hey, Senator, whatever the fuck, Republican from Iowa, 60,000 people in the Midwest died from opioids smuggled in through the south of the border," and they're like, "That's a damn shame. That we got to do something about that." And then they're like, "Hey, this country 3,000 miles away needs money," and they're like, "You'll have to carry me out on my shield before I turn down money to Israel." And it's like, this is unbelievable.
because it's like, you know what? It's beyond personal. It becomes religious at that point, and there's some sort of religious connection being made. Also,
Oh,
it
yeah.
has all the workings
It's the Holy
for
Land. It
World
is-
War III shit. It's like really
That's where
fucked up.
Christ is coming back, right? Taylor, help me out here. Isn't Christ supposed to come back over there? Like isn't
No.
he supposed to be reborn? No?
No.
Oh, he
No,
comes
there-
back. He's coming to America.
There are some evangelicals
He's coming to
who believe that.
America.
But that comes down to like biblical interpretation.
Well,
Like,
I wasn't asking
it-
for your personal opinion.
No, I'm saying like it comes down to biblical interpretation. If you're like
Definitely not.
no man will know the day or the hour. But like traditionally,
I
up
can
until,
tell if
like,
he's here though. If the Sixers win, my prayers came true. So
Yep, that's how you'll know. But like up in like traditionally, like Israel, as it's referenced in the Bible, is like that. Those are people who are saved. That's the church. Like it's referring to Israel in that way. It's relatively recent amongst particularly evangelical Christians, like a lot of these megachurch guys, you know, in the past, 80, 100 years.
Zechariah 14:4 states, "On that day, his feet will stand on the mountain of Olives east of Jerusalem, and the mountain of Olives will be split in two."
Yeah.
Let's find that mountain
not
real quick.
coming back. Hold on.
That mountain of Olives.
What I'm addressing is like this idea that a lot of evangelical Christians have that like Israel as a country as it exists geopolitically in 2024 is like a war there is going to trigger the end times.
oh,
Like, and that is what historically Christianity did not believe this. Like Israel as it's referenced there in the Bible is like, that's the church. Those are the followers of Christ, the people.
I didn't see him
of-
in the
of
picture,
Israel.
so we're probably good for now.
Taylor,
Yeah, I didn't see him there either.
I didn't understand what you were saying. That historically, evangelicals said they're going to come back to Israel, right?
I'm saying that like in the past 150 years, like
Okay.
evangelicals, Christians in particular, have like formed a belief that Israel is a plot of land in the Middle East. And that is like penultimately what it is. It's not the way in the Bible Israel is used to refer to followers of Christ, like the way that God said, Jesus said, like the church isn't a place you go. The church is you, the people, my followers, my believers. That is the church. Similarly with Israel, he meant like my followers, like that's what it was. Not this one plot of land in the Middle East. Something's going to kick off there specifically, and then that will be the undoing of all.
Hmm.
I understood that Zechariah passage to mean that Christ will come back on the mountain of Olives through some.
Oh,
Sort
he'll
of
make some
gateway they've got
stops.
there.
He'll make some stops.
Well,
Yeah,
that's where
he's
gonna, like,
he's
show up.
gonna pop
And
around.
That's also
He's a little
where
like Santa Claus. He visits everybody.
Yeah,
the
but this
spot
like
where Jesus was crucified is there too. Though it's on
I
another little
don't-
hill in Jerusalem.
yeah, I don't agree with the interpretation. I'm saying that the geopolitical existence of Israel as a state in 2024 is this crux of, and like where, and they're standing with Iran has to do with the end times. But if you look at a lot of evangelicals in particular, that's their belief. They think, oh, when something kicks off in this country, end times begin.
Well,
And there are some people who are like actively rooting for that.
well, of course, you want
Yeah.
the Lord to come back and save you, right? You don't want to sit down there in purgatory or wherever the fuck waiting to go to heaven. Nobody's in heaven. We talk about that a lot, but nobody's there yet.
Nobody's
There's like a
there yet.
handful of famous people in the Bible You know, they got like a
Moses,
personal, like
Moses is up there. Abraham's up there.
Who took the fiery chariot?
My
up
grandmother,
to
I
heaven?
think.
No, she's in the ground. She's in the ground in purgatory. Like all the souls.
It's not until the end times that they'll be raptured to heaven.
I don't see this news anywhere.
Elijah is
The
who
Israel
went up
thing?
to heaven in a fiery chariot.
Yeah, they attacked apparently on the way to Iran.
He gets
They
a special
attacked Syria
line
in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
I
He's
shot
in the
phone- I
fucking.
shot
He's
phone
in
with my
the
rabbi,
He hits that Star of David on his phone and
Yeah.
immediately gets the up to date shit.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hello, patch me through to the tunnels."
Patch me through to the tunnels. Careful. The Gentiles are getting too close. They're going to figure out what we're up to down here.
I wish they hadn't done it. I know I might be
Of
wrong.
course, no, me
Maybe
too.
I'm
Like,
missing.
They blocked, they swatted away all the flies. That there was no other message that had to be
and
sent.
they told them they were doing it.
They
like,
must have. They did.
It
They
was
told
such
them.
an open secret. Everybody knew.
No. But Iran also knew after that Israel was going to
Something
target
bad's
their
going to happen this
nuclear. Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, so is this a thing where it's like you bait them into, like, are they baited
Iran is
into
going
anything?
Iran's going to strike again. I bet they sink a boat or something. Like they seem to be more adept at sinking commercial stuff and pirating commercial stuff than like striking Israel proper. But they're going to do something big and scary. They said they would. They can't not now. It's like the playground all over again. Like Billy spit on Tommy. Tommy said if Billy spit on him, he was going to kick his ass, and he spit all over him over there. Here it comes.
I see it more like, I forgot the players' names, but Billy said he was going to spit on Tommy, completely missed him. Yet Tommy still feels compelled to have a big fight because he can't fucking take a win.
Yeah, it was just a little spittle.
He missed. We deflected it.
No one even got wet.
There was wind or something. Like
It was wind.
it didn't get him. He missed entirely. He could just be like, yeah, you know what? He failed to spit on me. We're gonna let it end there. They could have.
I can't imagine how off it is to be in Gaza right now. Like that's just. I'm glad we're here. My dad used to always say that. Like, I mean, probably still does, I guess. But he's like, we'd be out on like a bright sunny day. He's like, so glad we're here. So happy that we're here and not like in Iraq or Afghanistan fighting for nonsense or any of the awful places on the planet there are to be, just to be like out in a field, like, I don't know, riding a tractor or something, doing exactly what you wanted to do.
It's just cool that I was here on PKA when World War III started.
Yeah. We'll remember this. We'll tell our grandkids what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Imagine
back
how
in
much
the day were these people called Jews.
I remember.
See, they don't exist anymore. But one.
I remember when World War III.
They're like elves.
It was an okay
except
topic,
pointy
but then we
noses.
transitioned to fake Game of Thrones. And
Is it true they lived under the ground, Papa? Yes, son. That is
Some
true.
people
actually.
believe there are
was
no
a
Jew
tunnel
women.
right here.
They just spring out of tunnels in the ground.